Honor.
Right. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today on Kingdom of Healing. This is Kimberly Mateo. I'm a certified naturopath and master herbalist, and I started my journey into natural healing in 1977. For those of you seeking advice, it's my hope that 37 years' experience will help you or a loved one overcome your health challenges. The website for things that I talk about is kingdomofhealing.com, and you can always go there if you're interested in anything that you hear on the show. I thought today I would talk about some of the things with the Ebola that's in the news, and I'm sure that everybody, has seen the little, the video on the person who is head of protocol for that Presbyterian hospital in Dallas, while they were transporting the second nurse that was diagnosed. He's just there in his slacks and dress shirt, and everybody else is suited up. And you would have thought that he would have, even if he felt confident that he was fine, that he would have at least put on, even paper scrub barrier, the basic ones, instead of the kind of astronaut suit. But I don't know. I think that it feels as though that there's that there can be really a lack of concern about this. And, there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there on it as well, that it's, that it's not for real. But, well, we know that this Mr. Duncan died from it, and we know 2 nurses now have it. And we know that there's over 4,000 people that have died already over in West Africa. So, yeah, Ebola is real, but I guess with the conspiracy theory, they're saying that it was put into immunizations, and people were inoculated, and then that's how it spread.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. So.
Well, and I am not. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't like conspiracy theory because they're not facts. They're just theories.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't put it past.
Yeah, we're living in times that it's questionable, and all the more reason that we need to be self-sufficient as much as possible. We need to, for those who can afford to get it done, is to live off the grid.
Right.
And for those who can't afford to do that, there are things that they can afford and do to, grow their own foods and harvesting that, when it's ready to be harvested and it's full of all of its nutrients. And, there's things that we can be doing. There's herbs that people need to build an herb arsenal cabinet. And, there's essential oils, and we'll talk about some of them, the essential oils and herbs and things that can be taken. But, considering what the symptoms are for the Ebola and what ends up happening within the body with it, with just the breakdown of the endothelial cells, that's what holds the inside of the veins together. And that breaks down, and blood then is able to leak and move directly through the wall of the capillaries and veins, and this is where then there's blood in the lungs, and nosebleeds that you can't stop, that bright red eyes because of the hemorrhaging that's taking place within the body. So once the muscle, once those muscle cells start breaking down, and that starts happening with the internal organs, then you go into the multi-system shutdown. You have the brain affected, the heart, the lungs, kidneys, liver, spleen's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. There's hemorrhaging within the bowel, and so the stools are are very bloody, deep burgundy, and so it's very serious what starts transpiring within the body, and really in a very short amount of time. So it's really going to take, I think, from what's been going on. I think another surprising thing is we haven't heard anything from the Surgeon General.
That is surprising.
Yeah, why is we've been listening to this, things from the CDC, and they're supposed to be the foremost authority, and the second nurse calls them and says, "Hey, I took care of this guy for 11 days. I'm starting to run a fever." Yeah, it's okay. You're okay. She gets on the plane and flies from Texas to Ohio.
And that honestly is
exposes all of these people on a plane, plus the people in the airport.
Right.
Every single person that passed her by. And they say it's not airborne. But if so they're saying, and this could also be just something that the hospital is saying. Yes, they have admitted that there was, really a lack of enforcement of protocol.
Yes, there has been.
And the hospital did acknowledge that this morning. But, the damage has been done by that.
Oh, sure. Oh,
absolutely.
Definitely.
There's been enough people now exposed that
that's how the
any
epidemic starts.
Yeah, and they just this one person got on a plane, exposed all the passengers, exposed people in the airport, and went on to Ohio. 3 relatives that she visited with, work at, are employed at a pretty Ivy League college in Ohio. And they have been told to stay home for a few weeks.
Right. No, I
Quarantine,
saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that news this morning.
Yeah, I mean,
it's, I got to make a comment because, for one, I remember back in the 80s when I was in the military, we were told very specifically, we got to watch what happens when we go overseas. Because, if we get certain diseases, we're not going to be allowed back in the United States. Okay? Now, I think we broke protocol the minute we thought that we were equipped enough to even bring these people to the United States. Mm-hmm. And then I thought we were arrogant enough to think that, we could actually contain something like this. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where it's really important that, people just take responsibility for their family.
You have to now.
And their loved ones.
You have to now.
And I think another thing that's really disturbing about the protocol that wasn't enforced is that the nurses said that all of this cleanup stuff from within the room, his sheets and the pajamas they had him in, the hospital gowns, and everything that had been cleaned up with these body fluids and stuff like that everything was wrapped up, and it was piled as high as the ceiling after 11 days. So,
oh my goodness.
Okay,
11 days of incubation and nasty. Oh man.
And they also said that the hospital staff really, it boils down to is the hospital staff was terrified of it, and
I don't blame them.
they did not get the help that they needed to have in caring for this patient. So there really were only, a small hands-on team that that we're working.
So it falls
this
back
man.
on the CDC.
Well, the hospital.
Well, wait a minute.
The hospital for not enforcing. It's like, sorry, you have to suit up and you have to take care of this patient. A couple of nurses can't be the only ones. And I'm not saying that they were the only ones, but there was comments from them, about the issue of they didn't get a whole lot of help from the rest of the staff. Then you have exposure in the lab. You have exposure, anybody coming into the room. If it's not airborne, stop and think about all of this stuff piled in the room for 11 days. And it culturing and growing. And I'm sorry, there is so much that is airborne.
Yes,
you can't tell me
definitely.
that if you breathe that in or you get that on your hands and you rub your eye or you wipe your mouth with your hands, that you have not just, found a way for it to enter into your body.
Because we know for a fact people don't wash their hands correctly.
Yeah.
You know that for a fact.
And this is something where just really some basic things need to really be implemented around your house. And, the children are silver gel. It's like my granddaughters, my 8-year-old and 16-year-old granddaughters, have in their backpacks, for school, they have a tube of the silver gel. And if they touch something and they can't get up and go to the restroom to wash their hands properly, then they know to put the silver gel on their hands and, rub that around because of it killing viruses and bacteria. And it's a natural item. This, this other stuff, these hand wash things, sanitizers, the chemicals in that are damaging the good bacteria within the body. It's they're causing problems with the liver.
Exactly. So they're they came out with those reports that said just that. So they're not, it was more of a marketing scam than it was an actual fact that stuff actually. Of course it's going to kill, because it's so full of that alcohol and all those other chemicals that it's just depleting your skin of all the other things that it needs. So, you're kind of...
It's like wiping your hands down constantly with a Lysol wipe. Ugh. That's okay for your counters and stuff, but at a certain point you're going to have gloves on, because of, your skin is an absorption organ. Your skin is our largest, it's our largest organ.
Right.
And it does absorb what is put on it. And, that's how they, know now with the problems with these hand sanitizer products that there are some health risks with using it all the time. So, the key, what they're saying is a lot of people have been exposed to Ebola. And, some have developed it and others haven't.
Others haven't?
Haven't. So, the health of your immune system has a lot to do with every single thing, whether it be something as horrific as Ebola. Hey, MRSA. How many people have died of MRSA? MRSA's pretty wicked. And it's just not that, it was something that was immediate and an outbreak and everybody has it. But, there are a lot of people dying from MRSA. So, all of these things, even this intravirus 68, Ebola is a virus. And, this intravirus 68, it is a virus. So the silver will kill that. And like I said, I've got my granddaughters and I've got a tube sitting on the counter there in the kitchen in front of the sink.
And where do people find that at?
That's on the kingdomofhealing.com. It's
Okay.
called Silver Gel.
Okay.
And the silver all this week continues to be on sale. And it's like